Hello, Geminis, my dear Gems. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy, Gemini. We're going to look at you, your friend, and your foe. As I've said, and I'll say it again, because we are bringing in 3 different energies in this reading, there's always a possibility that you may be in a different spot. Although I do find 9 times out of 10, the you part is exactly where it's supposed to be, but you know, it can move. So nothing is set in stone here. As a card from the Moonology deck would say, it's not set in stone. So you, your friend, your foe. Your friend can also come across as the energy that is for the highest good for you, and the foe can come across as the energy that is not for your highest good. So keep that in mind. I am trying to call on 3 different energies for you though. So let's see, we're going to start, or we might even just exclusively use the archetype deck, Geminis. My dear Gems, Gemini, their energy, their friend's energy, and their foe's energy to get this reading started. Spirit, angels, guides, God, and everything in the ethereal that is working in divine love and light and truth. Gemini, you're in the upright. Jesus, Murphy, that's hilarious. So you have the guide, and this guide card is going around like crazy. Now, it was flipped. It was a very, very deep message for Taurus in that one. So, okay. Gemini, the guide in the light, it represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. So I want to say this is probably having done that. At the end of the day, the kind of the message that came through for Taurus when they had this in the reverse and other cards that supported it was it's kind of time like to do some sort of self-reflection here. It's time to get the answer from deep within yourself too. And to tell yourself the truth, really focus on the truth here. So because this is in the upright, I would say that this is something that you've done, that you've been doing this, you're focusing on the truth. You kind of walk in the footsteps of God. It's like walking in the footsteps of God. Your deep light inside yourself and the light of God are kind of connected here. That's your energy. Your friend has a nice energy. Your friend is the saboteur in the light, highlighting your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. So I want to say your friend is kind of looking at the ways that they've sabotaged themselves, or they've sabotaged life. They're seeing how they can empower themselves instead of doing things that are to the detriment of them, right? Like self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. So there could be some things that this person needs to be accountable for, and they're focusing on that though, right? Like they're not sidestepping whatever, here's you, and they're not sidestepping whatever their responsibilities are in terms of, you know, not being the one to sabotage themselves. Now it's interesting because your foe is also in the light too. Everybody's great over here. The mystic in the light revels in intimate union with the divine. So that's interesting. We'll see how the foe. Maybe the foe's getting to know God. Okay. You're really walking through, yeah, you're walking kind of hand in hand with your guides here. A deeper knowing, you're following that. It's like you have a friend here who's realizing how they've been self-sabotaging, taking accountability for it, and making the changes in their life. I want to say to have positive outcomes. And then you have a foe here who's reveling in the intimate union with the divine. Your motives, interesting. Your motives here are teacher in the light, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Nice. This is nice. It's like, yes, God speaks to me and I'm going to tell you. like a religious school or something. I'm going to tell you. Turn to, what are those chapters? They don't really have chapters in the Bible, right? That would be that. Your motivation here is to be able to communicate knowledge based on the experience that you have, the wisdom that you've gained, maybe some sort of skill that you've acquired. You could be a teacher. That could be, maybe you want to be. If you want to be a teacher, that could be what motivates you. Saboteur, your friend's motives. Well, your friend's motives are in the light too. I feel like it's nice. Goddess energy. It's kind of funny. I'm getting like, these are this card and the guide card. Well, this came out in the extended in Taurus. So it's kind of funny. There's something about that energy being turned around here that I was picking up in Taurus's reading. I'm seeing it kind of turned around over here in your reading. Your friend is expressing their wisdom through their natural life force, maybe even through their natural sensuality, the beauty of themselves, reveling in this, but in a very healthy way. Okay, so I feel like this person's probably been sabotaging themselves in terms of not recognizing, you know, the wisdom of who they are. Well, that's, yeah, I mean, that would be self-sabotage, Cindy. Okay, so your foe's motives, it's in the upright too. Everybody get their shit together over on this side. Trickster in the light. I said there's reverse. Oh, we have some. Okay. Transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Your foe's motives. Wow. This honestly, like with this, it feels like your foe, right, is like listening to God. Your foe is listening to God here. And through doing that, they're kind of motivated to move beyond predictable behaviors that they've had. Stuffiness too. Maybe your foe takes themselves too seriously. Your motives are directed towards, well, it's in the upright too. And oh, it's one of my favorite cards. Engineer. You know what? This is looking like to me. So, but your energy looks like to me, like someone who wants to become an engineer, or maybe you were an engineer and maybe you want to go and teach engineering. It's fascinating. Like, you're smart. I'm really picking up the energy of someone who is quite smart. The ability to give creative energy a practical expression. Talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. And of course, you know me. I always have to talk about what the shadow of this card is, because I feel like saying that and then telling you it's the opposite. To me, that really, that's the beauty and power of this card. So the shadow, the engineer in the shadow, is having a reliance on mechanistic solutions without any regard for emotional consequences, right? So this is not just a practical solution. These are solutions that are both practical, and you are considering the emotional consequences that could be either positive or negative in a situation. That's what you want to be able to, you're motivated to share wisdom here. And you're motivated to do that in a way that, yeah, you know, it's almost like in whoever or whatever you want to teach something to, or, yeah. Like I'm seeing a situation here. And I'm seeing, this is the opposite. Like, this is not you. But to give you an idea of how this energy, again, like kind of tapping into the opposite, maybe that's sort of a Gemini thing that I'm doing here, is like looking at both sides of a picture. It's sort of like somebody, let's say that this teacher energy is someone who comes from a very privileged background or something like that. Or yeah, is that? Because I'm kind of, it's okay. It's almost like, let's say it's a room full of women. It's a room full of women, and the course that they're studying, maybe they all want to be doctors. Maybe is there a doctor for men? What is that called? Is there a doctor for men? There must be a doctor for men. Women have a doctor, right? Like a gynecologist. Okay, so then let's reverse it. Let's just flip it, because I don't doctor. It's almost like there's all these men in the room, right? And they want to all become gynecologists. And the person who's standing at the front, the professor or the teacher who's teaching them, is actually a woman. And she's instructing them. But she's instructing, like, she's telling them about things that they really don't know. They don't understand. They're not a woman. They don't have a vajiji. They don't have a vajiji. They don't have ovaries. They don't know what it's like to get a period. They don't. So they could guess, they could imagine, but it's almost like the opposite of what I'm seeing of you is someone who would stand up there and instruct all of them like they do know this. And then to be sort of self-righteous, or even just maintain some sort of level of ignorance or superiority by, well, if you don't know what that feels like, then maybe you're not qualified for this job. You know, like it's like, well, can you tell me? Like, is it severe pain? Is it like debilitating? Does the pain move from one area to another? Is it just isolated in an area? Like, you know, right? Like, there's a whole bunch of ways that you could describe something. So I feel like you're that person that would get into that. Like you would sit there, like if you had a group of people and you knew, okay, I know this, and I know this both from my education, and I know this because I am this person, and that I've been through this. But all of the people that are sitting in front of you, they want to learn it, but they don't walk into wanting to know that, or they have no background on it, unless, maybe they had a mom or a sister, or maybe they even have a wife or someone that could tell them a little bit, but they need to attach it to like a clinical what I'm saying? I don't know where I just went with that. This is kind of that energy, and it is a guide, right? Like you want to do the right thing. You want to come forward and you want to do the right thing. You want to share the right type of information, and you also want to consider like people's feelings or emotions in it too. And it could even be something more of a very sort of like personal and intimate. It could even be somebody who's leading a group of people who are going through grieving. And, there could be a book that says, okay, this is what you do on the first night. If they come once a week and they sit in a group and they're working through a grieving process, and it's not just about like, if somebody starts opening up in the group, well, like you're leading this. That's what I see. Like you're sitting here as the leader in this energy. If somebody in the group starts opening up, but it's taking away the time for the rest of the evening, and the book says you should only spend 15 minutes on this topic, or give everyone 15 minutes. But this is somebody who has not said anything for the last month, and they're finally opening up. Like, the solution to this is that maybe we figure out how we can get more time next week, or maybe there's something that we skip, right? Like it's understanding that the important thing right now is what this person is doing. If this person needs to take up the whole rest of the night to, like, everybody's listening to them, everybody's like, oh my God, they're finally talking. Like what's going on, right? Like there's an emotional connection to that. You don't just, like a robot, go, hey, now we have to do this. That's it. You shared enough. That's not you. Okay, that's not you. So I hope I described that well. I want to just, like, that's your energy. Okay, now your friend, their motives are directed towards, it is in the reverse. So let's see what that's going to be. Oh, student in the reverse. That's interesting. So your motives are teacher, and your friend's motives are directed towards student in the reverse. Arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. But your friend's energy is trying to not be a saboteur. Maybe they wouldn't learn. But they're not learning. Jeez. So, okay, this is very much, right? You totally have like teacher-student dynamic in this energy here, and your intentions are good. You're trying to consider all things in this path, and trying to, like, maybe this is something you're trying to help a friend with here, where you're trying to show, you need to stop sabotaging your own life here. You need to, it's really funny. This is really like, maybe you're oh my God, you could be in the Taurus reading. The person that was their friend, looking at them like, okay, this person's going to seem like a foe to you because they're not telling you what you want to hear, or they're not what's that? They're not what the hell is that word? Poop. Enabling. They're not enabling you. Whereas their actual foe is someone that looks like it would be a friend, but it's totally an enabler, right? So, and it was funny because I used Gemini as an example of the person that really was their friend. That's you. You're like, it's coming in here like that. Really was their friend. And telling them, I don't know what they were telling them, but it just felt like based on the card, like I really don't know. It just felt like that didn't stroke their Venus energy of feeling loved and appreciated. It's not that the person didn't appreciate them. It was just they were telling them something they didn't want to hear, or they weren't enabling them. So this is fascinating because you are definitely like coming across as the guide in the upright. They were in the reverse, and you have teacher and engineer in the upright. Like, you know what you're talking about. You know what it is you're trying to help someone with. And your friend, it's like your friend is almost like that Taurus energy, and they're certain looking at themselves, which is also really funny because like based on between the YouTube Taurus, well, I guess it's YouTube if you're members, it's both the first part of the reading and the second part. The big part of what the path that they weren't taking was recognizing their real value. And I mean, how honestly amazing they really were. Were they going to recognize that, or were they going to keep going down a path that was telling them otherwise? I think they get their shit together. And actually, it's funny because I'm seeing it here. I'm seeing somebody who's trying to focus on not being the saboteur in their own life. They need, that's accountability too, with self-empowerment and that. I want to say that's like some level of accountability. And then the friend's motives are like goddess. It is like goddess energy, goddess energy. To be in, to know in not an arrogant or, yeah, honestly, just not in an arrogant way, that they are part of beautiful source here. That's your friend. And what is this directed towards? I want to say there's the arrogance word. That's hilarious. There's the arrogance word. In the pursuit of destructive knowledge. They have been pursued. Oh my God. The Taurus and the Gemini reading are totally connected here. Unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. But they are doing that now. That's what they're working on. They are working on that. Because I gave the example of my Gemini friend who would just, come out and say, like, girl, you can't go out like that. That looks like shit. Oh my God. And it was usually directed at our Libran friend, which is really funny. Who is actually, ruled by Venus and just wants to feel good. I'm like, no. You're not going to feel good when you come back home and you really look in the mirror and you're like, shit, I really shouldn't have gone out in that. It looks terrible. Okay, your foe, your foe is in the reverse too for what they're, but I feel like the foe's trying to do better. It's almost like you've somehow gotten through to both a friend and a foe here, and everyone's got their shit together. Good for you, Gemini. Okay, what your foe's motives are directed towards. The inability to change and transform. Oh my God. Alchemist in the shadow, misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to have a spiritual practice. And what's the motive? Is I want to transcend my predictable behavior that isn't healthy. Oh, I'm hot. Hot. Okay. I'm doing my garlic. Garlic's working, but it gets a little overpowered if Cindy has a piece of cake. Cindy shouldn't have a piece of cake. The cake so much. I want to know. I want to know why the things that we like so much are so bad for us. Anyways, artist in the reverse. Check this out. You're like an exorcist. Exorcist in the upright. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. That's you. It's like you know how to do it. You're like, yes, step-by-step process. But we will sit and listen. If you need to, we'll sit. I'll sit. Go on. You should turn to page 2 and go to the next thing that we're going to talk about here in this session. But it's okay. Yeah, you can get it out. Artist in the shadow. Using talent as an excuse to mistreat others. Posing as a starving artist to elicit pity. That actually feels like, to me, based on the way these cards are coming through, is somebody who has an awful lot to offer, or they have a lot to express here, or they have a lot of value, but they act like they don't. And by acting like they don't, people are missing out on the better parts of them. Excuse me. And they're also trying to elicit pity. So they're kind of creating the, what is that? The victim and perpetrator thing. You've been exercising. Why? It's hot when I lean into the cushion. I need the cushion. My back is tired. I've been replacing too many light fixtures. there. I'm trying to elicit pity, but I need a second. It's just, I have a pillow, but I don't think it's breathing. It's probably synthetic, and I'm getting hot. I just get irritated. We'll do tarot. The guide light. No, it's just going to have to deal with me like this for a few years, probably. I have no idea. I don't know. The Five of Pentacles from a distance. You're the guide. You're like a guide from the distance. You work from a distance here. I don't know. It's interesting. How do you do that then? Like, how are you helping people? The Five of Pentacles. Oh, now I'm hot. Oh, that's better. But now I don't have any support. The Five of Pentacles. Your energy. Distant and far away. No, you know, okay, I'm looking at the picture. It's almost like you're the waterfall. You're the waterfall, and then I don't know, you got a foe and a friend's here, a foe and a friend's, and it's like they're like choosing not to jump into the water. Like choosing not to jump into the water. You know, I'm honestly could be looking at someone who you could be a counselor, like a professional counselor or something like that. I don't know. Like you could be a psychologist, a psychiatrist. And even, you know, like, and you could have some clients that are like, they're not your friends, you'll say that. And then you have some that, you know, you like them, they're nice people. You hope they do well. You know, so I don't want to say, like, are you allowed to have that opinion? You can have whatever internal opinion you want. People, right? Like, so teacher is your motives. Communicate knowledge and experience, skill, or wisdom. The world. Your motives is to end that. You don't want to be teaching anymore. You don't want to do that anymore. Or maybe you've taught somebody what they needed to know. You've taught somebody what they needed to know. Your motives. To end the teaching cycle. You don't want to do that anymore. Tired of dealing with these people. Okay. So, and your motives are directed towards the engineer. Resolutions to common dilemmas. The Seven of Earth. This card is so curious to me. Like these gnomes, they sat on that for too long. They weren't seeing the signs when the water was starting to go up, and look at now. They ended up in an environment that is not for them. That's not where they should be. And now they're circled by sharks. There's a dolphin like, dudes, why are you down here? Actually, it's, yeah, like the dolphins, the turtle, everyone's come to look at them. Why are you down here? How did you end up down here? Like you needed to be moving, and now it's going to be harder. Is that the emotional? Your motives, right? You're the waterfall. You're the waterfall of divine life and in yourself. Your motives are to no longer teach your wisdom and knowledge. And that's directed towards somebody might feel like it's too late for somebody. Having it, well, yeah. Yeah, I don't understand that one, but like, because everybody here looks improved. So what? It's almost like you feel like giving up on something, or you don't want to do that anymore. But it's really funny because it looks like there's been improvement in people around you. And you're like, well, I don't know. They're all just stuck on the log. They're all just stuck on the log. Or you know, okay, this could be the difference too between, you know, you're trying to teach somebody something. You're trying to help them figure this out. It's almost like if you've been trying to teach something to someone, It's like the artist. It's like if you've been trying to teach something to someone and you don't understand why they're not getting color theory. And then you realize this person is colorblind. That's what that is. It's like if you've been trying and you're like, oh, I can't teach them color theory. We need a practical solution for them on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's exactly that. It's like, no, I can't teach them color theory. Your motive is like to stop trying to teach them this because, well, that's absolutely ridiculous. How can I expect someone to learn color theory when they're colorblind? So it is to a degree like it's changing your gears here. Your motive here is to come up with a practical solution to a very common dilemma, which is colorblindness. Yeah, with the Seven of Pentacles, like you need a new plan here. This person is drowning. Oh, you're the waterfall and this person is drowning. Oh my God, do you get that? That's so symbolic. You seen that? You're the waterfall of the divine. Like you have so much here to teach, but how can you teach it to someone when they don't possess like the trait or you've stopped trying to, you've stopped, but look, did you take a different approach? Because if you did, it's like, it looks like to me, you have who would you would consider a friend or someone that you like, and someone that you would consider a foe or someone that you just don't really like. They got it figured out. Like, that's crazy. Like, you've done something here. I don't know if you've just given up trying to do something here or to help. I don't even know what it is that you do. It seems, yeah, interesting. Okay, the saboteur, the friend's energy is the saboteur in the light. Yeah, it's also too, it's like, it's like, let's say you're going to teach basketball. I mean, like, you're like a basketball coach and you get moved to some sort of new community and you're going to teach basketball and you just, yeah, I know how to do it. You don't even, just, they'll come in. I'll be ready to teach them. Been doing this for 20 years. It'll be great. The first thing you always do, I don't know, it's probably not the first thing you should do, but is to teach slam dunk. So you're ready. You're ready for them. We're going to do it. It's fun because you can see who can jump high. And you walk in, they're all in wheelchairs. You're like, well, that's stupid. I'm trying to teach them. Like, they're probably going to teach me some stuff here, right? Like, that's, right? Wow. Like, and I don't know if this is something that happens really quick like that. Like, you walk in the room and you go, okay, that's not what I'm going to do. This is going to be totally different. So, okay. Oh, I'm really locked into this. So if the friend's energy, this is how, somehow like you switch something up here and people start recognizing the people that you like and the people that you don't like. They start recognizing their importance. Like, I really love this. They start recognizing their importance. Like, that's somebody who really makes a difference in the world, especially like people you don't like. Even they're getting it. Saboteur in the light. Justice. Look at that too, right? It's like, I'll show you the way. You just got to lift yourself up. I'll show you the way. You just have to lift yourself up. They are. No, this person is making the right choice. This person is making, they could be coming out of some sort of darkness here. Conscious enlightenment, too. The two fingers about to touch. Yeah. Friends' motives are goddess energy, feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Oh, the lovers. This person is on the right path. Your friend is choosing the right path. It's like your friend recognizes who they are. They're not the hole that they find themselves in. It's kind of like if somebody's going for a walk and they fall into a dark hole and then literally just sit there and say, I'm a dark hole because I'm in a dark hole. I'm a dark hole. So interesting, right? What did you do? I don't know. I don't know what you did. I feel like you did something. So this person's motives are to recognize their value, and they are on their path. They're on their divine path. They recognize the divinity within themselves. They're motivated by the divinity within themselves. And in that divinity, they are choosing the right path for them. And the student, in the reverse, their arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge. See, but that almost feels like, because I'm in a dark hole, I am a dark hole. The Six of Water, the Six of Cups. Things from this person's past are defining them emotionally. Emotional definition through their past creates an arrogant pursuit and destructive knowledge that tells them that they are the dark hole because they fell in the dark hole. So your foe, even your foe's got their shit together. The foe, mystic, revels in the intimate union with the divine. The Three of Air. Look at this. Like the foe is really looking at the pain. They're looking at their pain. They're looking at the conflict that exists between their heart and their mind. This is interesting too. Like somebody looking in a crystal ball. I swear, I've been picking up a lot of like reader energy in this week. Yeah, this week. Revels in the intimate union. I mean, that could be so many things. When there's a conflict between the heart and the mind, and we're talking about like connecting intimately with the divine, I feel like that's mostly through the heart space. So the ego of foeness is destroyed. Their motives here are to transcend any sort of conventional behavior, predictable behavior. Well, a whole whack of cards fell out for that. The Seven of Air, so the Seven of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, the Empress, and the King of Water, the Crone of Water, King of Cups. Okay, your friend is motivated by discovering and understanding the divineness of themselves, right? That's, I may have been in a hole, but I am not the hole. I can climb out of the hole. The foe is somehow responsible for tricking the goddess energy. The goddess is the Empress, but like the goddess. See, I want to say too, that to me in this context, especially with the Seven of Swords, that King of Cups is like an emotional manipulator. Hidden feelings, emotional manipulation. Now that's also interesting because there's something about your friends. It's almost like learned behavior that if some sort of I said it, I channeled it, and I don't remember what the hell I said now. To rewind, to go back to where I'm holding up that card and telling you what it was. Something from their past, right? Like that they're making. I don't know. I can't do that. I channeled it and it's gone. So, anyways, the foe's motives are to no longer to be predictably cruel to some extent. Cruel to themselves and cruel to others. The foe's motives are directed towards misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. They're misusing them. This is almost like somebody who was giving bad advice. And now they're not. It's kind of like someone who's giving bad advice in terms of not helping someone be a better person. This is even slightly a little bit like, oh, yeah, like an enabler. But enabling someone to feel bad about themselves. Yeah, just keep doing that. Keep feeling bad about yourself. This foe is stopping that. I don't know how. Why? What have you done? I'm really, like, you can tell me in the comments. This is a very interesting reading, Gemini. The Crone of Fire, the King of Fire. I always find it interesting that he's blown his own candle out. Blowing your own candle out, blowing out your own light. That's fascinating. The King of Fire. The Two of Fire. The Six of Air. And the Five of Air. It's when God takes us somewhere and we realize that we're not meant to win wherever we're going. Like, it's not about whether you win. Yeah, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for something to come in. Like, it's not. I know y'all going, yeah, it's the journey. No. I mean, it is. But it feels like there's something else there, but it's being withheld. Your destiny. Well, too, what you do with it. Okay. When this foe feels like they're winning, and that could be a temporary feeling, but then eventually they do find themselves losing. I really don't know what you've done here, because it's pretty interesting. And then I love the Maiden of Fire, right? And then she's walking with her candle, guiding herself. Wow, Gemini, I'm going to go do the extended. In the extended, I'm going to ask, what is the unexpected coming towards you? What is the unexpected coming towards your friend? And what is the unexpected coming towards your foe? There are two options in the description below if you would like to follow me to the extended. Thank you so much, Gems. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.